In this question it says a 10 kilogram mass is suspended on a spring, stretching the spring by 10 centimeters. It says, what is the spring constant of the spring? So initially you have some sort of spring, you have no idea how long the spring is. You do know that from there it is extended such that the displacement is 10 centimeters. You know that on that spring is a mass that has a mass of 10 kilograms. So using that information, you are trying to figure out what the spring constant value, or the K value, is for this particular spring. Now the equation that we have is we have F is equal to K delta X, where K represents the spring constant, F is the force, and then delta X is the displacement value. So now if we look at our given information from our drawing, we have all the information we need. We have a mass of 10 kilograms, and we have a displacement, don't do centimeters, of 0.1 meters. Now you may be looking at me and saying, well, how do we have all we need? I can't solve for K because I don't have F. But remember, based on our drawing of the situation, what is the force that is exerted on the spring? And you should realize that it is the force of gravity. The force of gravity is what's pulling the weight down and provides the force that's acting on the spring. So really what we have in this case is the weight is equal to the weight is equal to K delta X, or mass times gravity equals K delta X. If you were trying to solve for the K value, divide both sides by delta X, and you get K is equal to mg over delta X. In our case, that would be 10 times 9.8 divided by 0.1. You plug that in, you'd say, okay, the K value would end up being 980. And let's go ahead and look and see what we have as far as units. When you multiply m and g together, we've done that many times, we know that that represents a value of the Newton. When you have a length, that is meters. So that is our value of the spring constant. It's newtons per meter. So this K value is the measure of a stiffness of the spring. In other words, how hard it is to push that spring in or stretch that spring out. The higher this value is, the more difficult it is to change the spring. So something that's a high value could be something like a trampoline spring, whereas something with a really low value could be something like a slinky.